So we're joined here at the Gallagher Stadium, home of Maidstone United, with Chippenham manager Mike Cook. Mike, obviously we've just had a little bit of time to walk up here and have a little bit of a conversation about the game, but first and foremost, unfortunately our first away defeat today, a 1-0 defeat to Maidstone. Talk us through your first initial reactions on that one, bud.
Well, congratulations to Maidstone. I know Hakan, the manager, really well, so fair play to him. But I just thought the one man who decided the game today was not the players, not the coaching staff. It was the referee in the middle. The fella, Cole Walchester, I think his name is, he needs to seriously have a think about himself and the way that he referees a game. I thought he was absolutely terrible. I don't very often say anything about referees, but he really needs to consider his future, I think, in the game, because he was absolutely abysmal and he's cost us today, and it's frustrating. I've had to sit in the changing rooms another 10-15 minutes than what I normally do because I'm so angry with it, but he'll be going around to his home tonight. I don't think he cares that much, to be honest. So his own performance, it needs to be reported by us, because that was an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, I mean, we were broadcasting today for the second time. Obviously, we broadcast our first radio commentary from Dartford today. We had a bit of a luxurious situation up here where we were up in the gods, really. We get a good view of the entire pitch here, and one of the main sort of themes throughout that commentary from both myself and Jamie, it seemed to be very much the referee's performance. We knew that we were going to come in here and words were going to be said about it. Key moments in the game, obviously we break it down. We start with the first real tipping point in. We started the game quite brightly again today. We looked like we were the team in the ascendancy. They've come down the far end. They've launched a corner across in here from Bidden Williams, and it's struck Spencer Hamilton. The referee is the only person in the ground to have adjudged that to have hit Spencer's arm. No shouts from the crowd, no shouts from the player. And the referee points to the spot, and suddenly all the hard work in the week in terms of preparing for Maidstone, and you find yourself on the back foot. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And talking to Spence, I haven't seen the clip yet as well, so I'm trusting Spence on this one, which I do. And he says his one hand is up in the air, but the other one is tucked in, which is the one that it did touch his hand in that, but it's in a position where it's his hand's literally on his heart. And that for me is never a penalty. I believe it was just inside as well. At the time I wasn't too sure whether it was inside or out, but I just thought, not only he just didn't give us enough today. If it was a throw-in, it went their way. If it was a free kick, it was their way. It was, this is a difficult place to come. They're fantastic fans here. They really get behind them, generated a great atmosphere to them. And like I said, I've got no bitterness towards Maidstone at all, because I thought, even the crowd having a little bit of banter over the other side, they were fantastic as well. Good manager with Hakan as well, and it's just so disappointing that whatever you work on in the week, we just cannot legislate for that. And at the very least, we should have got a draw today, and we did enough second half. I thought with the we created a lot of chances. We've chucked Ola on. He's just a babby. He's coming on. He's ripped it up a little bit for us. I thought Harry Parsons was fantastic as well. Griff done a sturdy job up there, and winning headers against some big lads up there. So statistically, we've had a look with the analysis guy, and we've nearly won every battle on the pitch, and the only one we haven't got is that goal, and that's frustrating. Yeah, and I think one of the key points there, in that we said no disrespect to Maidstone, and of course we don't ever come to places like this with the intent of doing so. I don't think outside of the penalty they've offered really anything today in terms of threats to Will's goal. He's looked like a fairly comfortable man all afternoon. The defence held out well. I thought, funnily enough, we were having a chat down there in a small group of travelling supporters that came today, and trying to discuss who might be picking up a man of the match from a Chippenham perspective, and the name that was battered around more than anyone was that man who gave the penalty away, Spencer Hamilton. I thought your defence held out fantastically today.
Yeah, and that's what we worked on. On Thursday night we had a look at different formations and different systems. A little bit of a different style today as well. We played a little bit more football. We weren't as direct, and you can do that a little bit more on the AstroTurf. And with the loans that we brought in with a little bit more quality, I thought every single one of them did great today. But it's disappointing that you lose to that goal, really.
Yeah, and it's our first defeat on the road. We knew that this was going to be a tricky place to come. Form coming into this wasn't great for Maidstone, but that was definitely nothing that I'm sure that crossed your mind coming into it. They're a different beast here. Behind their goal, massive support, and it almost feels as if the referees got on the turn a few times today based on their pressure that they've added. One thing, obviously, that we were going to suggest, from the sort of Loney standpoint today, Mike, is that going forward, although we haven't hit the back of the net today, we've again created 3 or 4 or 5 chances there that are certainly at the end of the game. I mean, in quick succession, we had one tipped off the bar, we had one coming from the cross, we had Cameron Hargreaves off a quick reaction from Ricky Aguiar, and by the way, I mean, what a player Ricky looks at the moment. I mean, he's got a big future in the game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a pleasure to work with, and he's technically he's the sort of player I love and I'd pay to watch personally, and he's getting into some great pockets for us, and he's hard to mark. He's definitely a player with a little bit of flair. And we've got him till January, so we hopefully make the most of him, and he doesn't pick up any injuries, because he makes that little bit of difference for us. A little bit what Scott Twine did when he came a couple of seasons ago, and he has got that little bit of quality which helps us. So I'm disappointed for the travelling supporters as well, and board of directors chairman said, look, probably that referee's cost you today. So I think everybody can see it, so it's not me looking at the game differently to everybody else, but we just got to keep battling on. If we have that attitude and that tempo, it should be a good game against Uxbridge next week as well.
Yeah, we're just about to move on to the game against Uxbridge. Before we do, though, we're just going to touch on obviously the league and how it's impacted today. It's the National League South so tight, it's almost impossible to sort of see results spring from week to week. But again, the results have allowed for Chippenham to slip today a little bit, only into 14th, down from 12th. But we're still very much there, tickling the top 7. It's not getting away from us because of the results that are there. But again, that league is at the moment so spread that from anything down from maybe 6th down to about 16th is separated by a mere matter of points. I suppose again, real testament to you guys and the work that you guys are putting in there. And although it's a defeat today and it's the first one on the road, we get a break now where we go to the FA Trophy. But certainly now these league points are going to start coming thick and fast over December as they start to really pick up a bit of traction. I mean, there's a huge amount of games, and I think 5 of those come at home over December, January. So big chance to really put our stamp on that.
Yeah, hopefully, and I think that if we can get the loans to stay, then it gives you a little bit of comfort going into December as well, because today again Anks is on the bench, but he's injured and we haven't got enough. We've only had really 4 subs. Joel Smedley's come along. I'll be keen to get him on at some stage as well, because he's doing terrific in training. And little Ethan I thought came on and did superb again, and it's good that they're coming up through that academy and getting offered an opportunity. So but really pleased with everything, just not quite getting over the line today. I just thought we deserved something today, and probably haven't played that well since St Albans, if I'm honest. I thought we played terrific that day, and it was very similar to that. But any of those teams that are in and around us and below us, they got to come here and they've got to get some points, and this is a tough place to come, innit?
It certainly is. So we'll move on to the FA Trophy. Obviously it's a bit of a different beast from the FA Cup. We've played a team in their league already this year in the FA Cup. It was, I believe, me and you stood there afterwards, didn't we? And me and you stood there afterwards with it's almost fits of laughter or tears, and we couldn't quite work out which one it was.
Tears
but
from
it
me
was
and the wife.
Hastings at home. It was arguably Chippenham's worst performance, and I think it really sort of sent you on a bit of a tear, didn't it? It sort of took you home in a big sort of amount of thinking that week, and there was chops and changes to personnel, new loans coming in, players leaving. It was a big reaction from that game. We get almost a bit of a chance to put that right this week. We've got Uxbridge. They're currently sitting second in the Isthmian, so they're by no means a team that we could be taking lightly. The FA Trophy, although maybe not as prestigious as the FA Cup, it offers us, and for yourself personally, Mike, an opportunity to do something that no Chippenham manager has really done for us before. We've never really ventured into this tournament, into any round past maybe 2 or 3. I think, as far as I can remember, the best performance we ever had, I think, was around round 2 and got to Gateshead and lost that. So it's a real chance for you coming in at the second round stage to maybe put your print on this and leave your own little bit of Chippenham legacy.
Yeah, we did well in the trophy sort of 20 years ago when I was at Gloucester City originally, and did quite well with that. I think we got through to the semi-finals, if I'm not mistaken. But it is an opportunity for us to have a home game, and I just hope that we can perform like we've done today, because it was absolutely fantastic. It was a really good game to watch. The actual game of football was great by us, I thought, today, and a little bit of credit as well to Hakan and his men, because they got a bit of quality and they definitely made a game of it. And I said to him in the change room after that, if we can go into the Uxbridge game with that sort of mentality and that tempo, then we'll be all right. But if we drop 10% below that, we're going to be in trouble. So it's already getting people focused on Saturday. We've got 7 days to that game, taking it serious, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a determined effort from everybody next week.
Excellent stuff. And just one quick final point in closing. We had a little bit of a conversation in the gantry at the start of the game today. We were a little bit surprised maybe not to see Alex Bray feature. We had a conversation obviously with Alex the week before last. It's sort of said back in running, looking almost as if he's sort of heading back towards our fitness now. Can you give us a little bit of an update on just how far Alex is away, or is it still really the piece of string argument?
Yeah, I think it was a grade 2. It got diagnosed as a grade 1. He's probably tried at Dartford, broke down in the warm-up, so we couldn't have even put him on at Dartford away. But we've got Danny Greenslade, Alex Bray, obviously Marlon's gone now as well with Sterney. We've got Anksy out as well, so there's 5 lads there that we would have had and we could have called on. We've played Alfie in the 23s today to get him some fitness and have a little look at him. And sometimes it's not a bad thing to reset after sort of 12-13 games and have a little look where we've come from and where we're going to. And obviously with the young uns coming in, they've been a pleasure to work with so far, so hopefully we can give them a few more minutes, and we'll see where it goes.
And speaking of those young'uns, obviously we've brought a couple in on loan. Nothing recently in the last week, but Zane Walker made his debut for Chippenham on loan for Bristol Rovers alongside Cam Hargreaves against Billericay on Saturday. He was taken off after 30 minutes. Not 100% sure obviously what's happened with Zane, but I think the rumours that are going around and the people that we've spoken to, that Zane suffered a very similar injury to Alex, and that he's now back at Bristol Rovers receiving his treatment, and we probably won't see Zane for the duration of the month that we did have him on loan.
No.
So obviously we've offered our best wishes up in the gantry and from the supporters' perspective, but I'm sure obviously you'd like to put on record your own thanks to Zane, even for the very short time he spent with us.
Yeah, just to update you on that as well, we swapped text messages yesterday. He's probably expecting to be out for sort of 3 or 4 weeks, but I've said I'd like to keep it open with Tommy Witherington at Bristol Rovers, so that potentially we'll probably look to play him when he gets back fit, which could be round about Christmas time in and amongst those busy games. So with a little bit of luck he'll be fit for that, but again with hamstrings it's difficult to diagnose them correctly, so I think we'll probably be in a better place to see where he is in another week's time. But he's definitely one. We thought he'd done well when he started the game. He gives them, the opposition, a few more problems, and hopefully we can work with him in the future.
Good stuff. Well, Mike, it's disappointment today from the Gallagher, unfortunately succumbing to our first defeat on the road, 1-0 away at Maidstone. Hope to see you Saturday, mate, and hopefully we can put a few rights wrong in the FA Trophy and get past Uxbridge into the next round. Well done, mate.
Great. Cheers, Simon.
Well done, bud.
Thanks.